Hi, everyone. It's Kelly from Tutoring Tips for Teachers, and I have my very good friend with me today, Sheryl Ueling, and I'm so excited because Sheryl has a brand new program for tutors and for teachers who want to tutor that is unlike anything else that I have seen out there. Sheryl is helping people transition into online tutoring. And I know there's a lot of people out there that want to do online tutoring. You want to work from home. It's much more convenient. There's less overhead. There's no travel time. There's lots of benefits to online tutoring. But a lot of people just don't know how to do it. They can't kind of wrap their head around it. So Sheryl is here to help because she's going to show us how to not only tutor online, but add an incredible amount of value to our online tutoring programs. So Sheryl, tell us about what you're offering to tutors.
Okay. Well, Kelly, thank you for asking me to join you today. So my newest venture started when I got to thinking, I'm a really, really good at using Google products. I have two certificates in Google for Education, and I create courses for my students, basically outlining everything that we're going to be doing for like a month at a time. Basically, an online lesson plan that I can just go boop, 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 and I can travel because my husband and we like to travel. And when I first started, I was like you, meeting in person, but because I live on a farm, okay, and I have to travel a long way to get to where I need to go, it was really taking me a long time. So I had to really wrap my head around, how can I make this really easy to do on short notice if somebody has to change, if I'm not right at my computer, and maybe I just have my phone or my tablet, or if I'm traveling and I'm not going to take my broken laptop with me, I'm going to take my Samsung tablet. How can I really streamline this to make it work for myself and for my students? And because when I was in the classroom, I was using Google Classroom, I just said, there I go. That's going to be my platform. So what I'm in the process of doing is once a month, I do a tech chat with tutors and teachers looking to start tutoring. And I'm really focusing right now on working with Google Classroom. And I actually have had some people that aren't teachers show up. They are realtors, and they're looking to kind of put all of their documents and forms and videos for their clients in there to kind of educate them about, well, what can I do to educate my buyers or my sellers? So it's already there. So I actually have two realtors that are working with me as well. So really just teaching the value of having Google Classroom. Google Classroom is kind of like, I call it the Swiss Army knife of workspace tools, because all of the workspace tools from Google can be applied in there. Well, your email really can't, but YouTube and Forms and Docs and there's more sheets. Those can all be embedded in there, and you can quickly go in there and go click, 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 click. So when I pose the question, I work with you and many other tutors, and I'm like, well, what do you think people would want to know? They're like, Sheryl, you're always talking about this. I think you need to set this up. So that just created Tech Tutor Innovate, and here I am.
That's fantastic. And Google Classroom is such an amazing tool. And I don't think that enough of us use it. It adds so much value to your
It
service.
does. It
Yes.
does.
And you can actually tutor from your tablet when you travel.
I do. I do. So here's how I set my classes up. So inside of my classroom, each one of my students has their own classroom. They're super easy to make friends. You just need to have a Google Workspace account. Go to google.classroom.com, hit your plus button, and you're off and running. Then it's up to you to tailor that to meet the needs of your student. So inside of each one of my classrooms, I create a Meet link because that's my product, Google Meet, and I pop that Meet link in there. Now, there is one already established in there, but I kind of set it up on through my calendar. So I use a different Meet link. So I go into my calendar, I set up the meeting, and then I pop that link right into my Google Classroom. The next thing that I do is I think about what would my student need to have. And most of my students are reading students. So they might need access to a program. Like I use education.com, and all of my students have a BrainZ account. So I go in and I create a topic, and it will say BrainZ because that's what they're using. That's their word for it. Okay, not education.com. And then I embed the link. And then in the description, I add their code, because their code is going to be very important if I'm using any of their interactive worksheets that I can also plug in to that. So it's just thinking through, what exactly do I need to have in there for that student? If there's places that we're going to visit for the week, maybe we're going to go to room recess, or maybe we're going to go to math playground, because math playground has some really cool spelling activities. Hint, hint, there you go. I'll go there for some spelling activities, and I can embed those in. Kelly, you introduced me to Flyleaf Publishing, and there was another phonics reader, Just Right Reader, I believe is what it's called. And so I will put the link in there for myself. My students really don't use it, but I have it in there. Or if I'm using a slide from something that I've purchased, I can just pop the link in there. So I put it all in under topics, and then I organize it. And then when I'm done using it, I just go exit out and I push save. And so my lesson plan's already built in there. So when I meet with that student, I'm like, do you have your Google Classroom up? If they don't have it up, I go grab the link and I share it in the chat, and boom, they're ready to go. So it's super, super simple, really simplifies my life. And I'm planning anyway. I'm making those plans for my students anyway. So it's really easy. And Kelly, I have something else that's coming up this winter that I've also prepared for my students. And would it be okay to talk about that right now? Because
Yes,
it's
of course.
Google Classroom. And so
Yes.
you've heard me talking about my ed hubs, and
Yes.
I'm using Google Classroom for that. So I've already prepared those kindergarten through 5th grade. I've got all my tools in there, and I will not be meeting with those families. That is going to be just a standalone course that parents can say when their student says, I'm bored, they're like, no, you're not bored. I have some fun things for you to do. So they get to hear a story from me. And then I've got links in there for videos that were already created. And then the kids have a document that they can practice the reading comprehension strategy. They have a downloadable PDF that I've already placed in there for them that they can print off any pages that they want. And then they will also get that fun BrainZ link that I was telling you about. So you can set this up and run it in so many different ways. It's just a really Swiss Army knife of tools.
Is, and there's so much you can do with it. So your ed hubs are actually passive income, because you're not actively teaching. You've kind of created almost like a course within Google Classroom.
Yeah.
And then you're selling that course to the parents.
I am.
So the kids can access it themselves, which is brilliant. I've never heard of anyone else doing that. That's brilliant.
Well, I have to tell you who inspired me to do that.
Who?
Michael Gibbon. His summer income choices for tutors, he had a parent learning packet, and that's what I called it at first. I'm like, well, I don't like that. I'm going to call it Education Hub, because, and then I was like, well, I don't want to call it Education Hub. I'm going to call it Ed Hub. And so I just put that on there. And so now I've got a tech hub for my my coaching clients with my Tech Tutor Innovate, where they can log on, and that's where I'm building this course out. And so I am almost done. Yay. I can't wait. And then they get to meet my coaching clients get to meet for that free monthly chat. And we talk all things Google Classroom.
That's so exciting. And yeah, and the chat is free. That's so generous of you.
Yeah.
I went to the chat, your first chat. It was really good.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah. So every month you offer all these free tips about how to use Google Classroom. And it's really, really helpful. It's really, really great. And yes, I saw there were some realtors there too, because it's such a useful tool that not only teachers and tutors can use it, like anyone can use it. And
well, I was even in my introductory video, I was mentioning people like, if you have a small business and you have to do training videos for your employees, you can do your little video. You can even put it on your phone. You know, hey, this is how you do this, whatever. You can upload it as an unlisted video on YouTube and then embed the link into your Google Classroom, and boom, you're there. So you've got it right there. And then you can create a form where maybe you ask them questions and they have to answer it. And so then you can just check to see, did they understand, the importance of rotating produce or whatever it happens to be. So yeah, it's really powerful. It can do a lot of really cool things.
Yes, that's fantastic because when you think about creating a course, you don't often think about Google Classroom, and it's free,
Mhm.
right? And if
It
you
is, it is. And the only time you're going to have to pay for it is when you use too much of your space. So
right.
I have a paid account, people.
Yes, that's true, but it's still not a lot of money.
No.
I think I pay like $3 a month because I went over my
Mhm.
Google space. So it's not a huge amount of money. And it's so here it is, like a free or very cheap way to
Mhm.
actually create a course and create passive income for yourself and tutor when you're traveling, like you said, with just your
Mhm.
tablet or a phone. That's like, oh my gosh, I've never done that before. And
Ooh, you got to try it. It's powerful. I do it all the time.
yeah,
I go back and forth between my home here in Nebraska and Chicago, where my daughter lives, and that's how I teach.
wow, that's
Hmm.
incredible.
Hmm.
And I know from my experience in the classroom as a classroom teacher, as a virtual classroom teacher, and using Google Classroom there, that it is very interactive. So the kids all had it up, like you said, and
Hmm.
the whole class. And we're talking about 20 kids here. So when you're
Hmm.
tutoring, it's, one
It's just
kid,
one. You just have
yeah,
to, but I
or
have
a
done it
small
with a
group.
small group. Yeah, I have done
Yeah.
it with a small group. I had up to, I think, 8 kids this summer. At one of my sessions, that was almost too many. And we were playing math games. And I was just like, okay, go into the Google Classroom. You're going to go in on this link. And we all met. We were all there.
Wow.
It was
That's
so powerful.
amazing.
It was so cool. And so I'm just really excited to share this with other teachers. I'm not a Google innovator. I'm not anything like that. I just have my 2 former certifications. And it taught me a lot, but I am somebody who uses the tool and I'm happy to share it with other people.
That's fantastic. So I'm going to put the link to your Tech Innovate. That's what's called, right?
Tech, what did I call it? Tech Tutor Innovate. That's what I
Tech
called
Tutor
it.
Innovate. I'm going to put the link for the Tech Tutor Innovate
Yeah.
so that people can go to the free
Yeah.
meetings once a month,
Hmm.
and they can also contact you for more formal coaching.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can really get them set up with Google Classroom and really get them
I
going.
really can. I really
And
can.
I
But
know you're
Kelly,
building.
I am gonna mention that instead of sending them to Tutor Innovate, we'll send them to my Midwest Tutor page with my Tech Coach for Tutors page, and
Okay.
then they can send me a message and be like, yeah, I want more information. If they just go to my Instagram page or my Facebook page, well, you can come visit me there too. But this will give me a little bit more information because I would need it's easier for me to send the invitation with an email rather than just through a
Hmm.
DM. So that'd
Oh,
be better.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes,
Easier to do.
definitely, definitely, definitely. And then you can get more information too as you release more. I know you're working on a course, which is very
I
exciting.
am. I'm working on that course I was talking to you about. And then I'm even looking for some volunteers to help me practice a digital whiteboard that for the conference that
Ooh,
you and I are working on for SOAR 2, because I'm thinking,
wow.
what a great way to collaborate during our conference, but I cannot do
Yes.
it alone. Gotta
Oh,
find some
okay.
volunteers.
I'm sure there's some out there. So
Yeah,
there's
I
lots
even
of
have that on
opportunities.
my tech page. So it's like, I'm looking for 5 volunteers who want to try
Oh, nice.
this board out.
Nice. And it would be a great learning experience too, because
Hmm.
that's a powerful tool as well.
Yeah, it
Yes.
is.
So Cheryl, you've got all these incredible tools, Google Classroom and the whiteboard and all, the way you use YouTube. So you've got all these really incredible tools that you're using in a way that we don't often think about, that we haven't necessarily learned how to use, that a lot of people are not talking about. So this is really like groundbreaking stuff, and it's not expensive.
Yeah.
It's free or very cheap. Like this is like the ultimate tutor resourcefulness right here. This is it. So please, like if you're thinking about tutoring online, or if you do tutor online and you want to make it maybe easier for yourself, or you want to add more value, or you want to create some passive income, who doesn't want to do that? Then definitely you have to contact Cheryl, because she's got all the answers and some really creative solutions. So
Thank
thank you
you.
so much.
Thank you. But I do want to put a plug in for your stuff. I have bought some of your courses and gone through them. They're so good. Just you're doing exactly what I'm doing with your courses. They're good. They're really
Oh,
good. I've
thanks.
learned so much. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Cheryl. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah.
And we're going to say goodbye. But before we say goodbye, don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you want more tutoring tips, because we're bringing them out every week. All right. Bye, everyone. Thanks for joining us.